So one of my kids wants to play piano. Can I get a piano for Christmas or not? And I'm not gonna buy a big old piano, but nice. What does it say? I'll tell you the exact model. It's a Yamaha. It's a nice, keyboard piano, electric piano, if you will. I haven't played in a while. I've actually done a couple parodies on YouTube way back in the day. I don't even think they exist anymore. And I had a little MIDI keyboard that I hooked up to my computer. This is it's a Yamaha DGX 660, 88 key grand digital piano with Knox piano bench, pedal, dust cover, and book/DVD. And I thought, if it's just my kid gonna play, I'll get a little, $100 keyboard, or, you know what I mean? You want to play for a little bit, whatever. But they may really want to, play, and I wouldn't mind, to tell you the truth, jumping back on there, playing some jams, playing some old, playing some Journey, some other good jams on the piano. I'm thinking, well, matter of fact, I put that sucker right here in the crypto cave. Kids, you want to come out and play? Just come out to Daddy's crypto cave. A little hot in here. Turn on the air, and jam out. Here's my computer. You guys know how you can log in. Put up the other screen up there on the big screen, the 50-inch, and go to YouTube and have at it. How to play such and such. There's even programs you can download that you can play. It'll play it really slow, and rather than sheet music, with the notes and stuff, it just shows you the keys coming down, which ones to press and whatever. Far easier to learn that way. Now, most people are like, yeah, but that's the wrong way. You need to learn sheet. You need to learn to read music. Well, why was sheet music created in the first place? Because we didn't have a digital age back then. You wouldn't be able to watch a screen and things move and show you what keys to press. You had to learn how to read music. It's the only way you could learn how to play it, unless you play by ear. But again, if you can read music, you'll never get it wrong. Today's the digital age. It's a lot harder to figure out how to read music and stuff, music notes, than it is to watch someone else play it, or a digital thing in front of your screen going down, showing you can slow it down. It doesn't change the tone, keeps the tone the same, and you press the keys. And there's apps for the iPad and the iPhone, the Android, your computer. So I'm just like, man, that's the way to go. So I just quickly popped up, Journey, Open Arms or something, bunch of them right there, bang, right in your face. I used to know how to play a few of those songs a little bit, at least the intros for a little bit. It's been too long though, I can't remember it. And then it started making me think, maybe I ought to get an electric drum kit. Kids can learn how to play some of those jams, whatever jams. Daddy can jam out the drums with them, or my dad can come over and play the piano. He can play. Papa, snip 4, J snip 4, jamming. Dad, need you to learn how to play. I'm going to send you some links. Play it exactly like that. Don't come over here with this nonsense. While you're missing all the keys, hitting all the wrong notes. Oh, keep going. No, it sounds terrible. Learn the effing song. Because he'll go to my sister's house, play their piano. Oh, just keep going. No, that's terrible. That's terribly wrong. Stop. Because that's what happens when you don't play in a long time. It's like, no. Papa, learn the song. Then we can jam. But I don't have a drum set. I'm thinking about getting it. My wife saw it. I already put it on the Amazon cart. My wife saw it. She's like, I hear it. My phone go off. Text back here. I was just doing a video a minute ago. And, what are you doing? Well, we've been through this a few times already. You get a drum set, you don't use it. They can, but you know why? They sucked. El Cheapo drum sets, and then I got one that was a digital set. I don't even know who made it, what brand it was. But it was pretty awful. And I'd play it thinking it just sounded bad. Didn't feel right. I'm like, well, if this is what the electronic kits have to offer, I'm not like that. I got rid of that thing. But I don't want a full, real set, acoustic set or whatever, because it's freaking loud. Not that I really got neighbors all up on me, but man, electric kit, put on your headphones, or take them off, get a little 50-watt amp or something. Papa's in here, one of my kids in here jamming. Let's jam, man. Come on. So the piano is I took the drum kit off. I took it off, Evelyn. I removed it. let's just get the piano for now. But I got a sneaky suspicion once we get going. I'm heading over to Sam Ash immediately. Why? I'm going to get the freaking kid. It's time to jam. Then I could write some music on some of these parodies. Jam it, sing it. Bitcoin jams, you know what I'm saying? So, Greg Hunter's USA Watchdog blog. You know him. Great guy. Great YouTube channel. I didn't know this a long time ago. I've mentioned this once, I think, after I heard about it. But I was like, oh, he actually was I don't know what his title was, but he spoke a few times, I think, for CNN. Like he actually worked for them or something like that a long time ago. And then got out of it and was like, do my own thing. And now he's doing well on YouTube. It's good to see that. It's global and it's viral. DiMartino Booth exposes the Fed's biggest fear. Former Federal Reserve insider Danielle DiMartino Booth says the record high stock and bond prices make the Fed nervous because it's fearful of popping this record high credit bubble. And DiMartino Booth says the Fed's biggest fear is they know darn well this much credit has built up in the background, and the ramifications of the unwind, the $4.5 trillion balance sheet unwind, for what has happened since the great financial crisis is even greater than what happened in 2008 and 9. It's global and it's pretty viral. So the Fed has good reason to be fearful of what's going to happen when the baby boomer generation and the pension funds in this country take a third body blow since the year 2000. And that's why they are so very, very intimidated by the financial markets and so fearful of a correction. And he says, Zero Hedge, as a reminder, the Fed is, normalizing its balance sheet. And as Yellen said last night, and this is posted on November 23rd, okay? As Yellen said last night, so far so good. Here's the unwind. Here's a screenshot. Here's a screenshot of that. So far, so good. Can you see that, folks? Is that not big enough for you? Here's normal. Here's normal down here. Actually, that's not even normal. Normal is around this because this is about 2.5 trillion down here. 2012, 2.5 trillion, almost 4.5 trillion here. Normal is about 800 billion to 5 to 800 billion. Okay, 500 to 800 billion. Normalizing. So far, so good. We're off to a great start. Wow. So far, the Fed, since the end of September, has shrunk the balance sheet by 0.17%, or $7.3 billion, of a $4.5 trillion balance sheet. Why the Fed will not allow even a small correction in the markets? DiMartino Booth says, look back to last year when Deutsche Bank took the markets to DEFCON 1. Maybe you were paying attention and maybe you weren't, but it certainly got the German government's attention. They said the checkbook is open and we will do whatever we need to do because we can't quantify what will happen when a major bank gets into a distressed situation. And I'll add a word they're missing. A distressed situation again. I think what central banks worldwide fear is that there has been such a magnificent reblowing of the credit bubble since 2007 and 8 that they can't tell you where the contagion is going to be. So they have this great fear of a 2 or 3% or 10% correction, and they do not know what the daisy chain is going to look like and where the contagion is going to land. It could be the Chinese bond market. It could be the Italian insolvent banks, or it might be Deutsche Bank, or whether it might be a small or mid-sized U.S. commercial lender. They can't tell you where the systemic risk lies, and that's where their fear is. This credit bubble is of their making. And I'm going to remind you again, every time this comes up, I have to. Ben Bernanke, former Fed chairman, now Yellen has replaced him, right? For those who don't know, follow that stuff. He said back when we had the $500 to $800 billion balance sheet and told Congress, we need to do this, and didn't give any numbers of how high it would go, but he promised that by 2016 January-ish timeframe, it would have been unwound back to normal levels and everything would be fine. That never happened. It's been sitting at $4.5 trillion. It was never even close to coming down. And now that he's gone, he says a few times now, maybe leaving that balance sheet at $4.5 trillion won't actually hurt. And if it needs to go higher, that won't hurt either. So maybe unwinding isn't the greatest idea, he says. But he made sure he promised Congress that we're absolutely going to unwind, because that's a crazy amount of debt to just sit over here on our balance sheet. And again, my question is, are we paying taxes? Or not taxes, but are we paying the interest on that debt? Because again, when we borrow money, some bondholder somewhere's sitting on it, right? We got to pay them. But this is kind of a little different, right? They're just buying these so-called assets, trash assets off the bank and holding them. So this balance sheet of $4.5 trillion, they had to create money to do that. But again, and I'm not sure. Are we paying tax on that? Because I remember Ron Paul, before he left, was talking about it and said, if anything, we should not be paying any taxes or any interest on that, on those, well, not taxes, any interest on that debt. We should not, the taxpayer should not be paying on that. So if he was saying it, that implies we are or were at that time. And is why he said we should not be. And I don't recall ever hearing any law or anything being passed that says we don't, but I just haven't seen the data. If you happen to know that answer for sure, I mean absolute certainty, make a comment and let us know. So in short, the Fed does not know what's going to happen, and according to DiMartino Booth, nobody does. DiMartino Booth contends, I don't think any of us know what the implications are for the $50 trillion debt build since. Now this isn't balance sheet, this is just the debt build. Since the great financial crisis of 2008. And he may be talking about other countries, I mean, or is he just talking about the U.S.? Because I don't see where 50 trillion came from us. It's probably global. It is impossible to say we have never dealt with anything of this magnitude. And on Bitcoin's rapid rise in value, he warns, I say he, is it he, right? DiMartino? To me, Bitcoin is a reflection of panic. It's a reflection of people trying to get money into a safe place, knowing the major governments of the developed world have got their printing presses running 24/7. It is a reflection of anxiety in fiat currencies and the fact it's not practical to go back to a gold standard. What scares me about Bitcoin is the central bankers are studying it to figure out how the blockchain works. They are going to be controlling our spending with blockchain technology that is being perfected in the cryptocurrency universe. Hang on, I got a little reply from Cliff. Yeah, all right, nothing I need to repeat right now. Nothing, he was replying to the hack thing. On silver and gold, he says, 2017 is the record for quantitative easing or money printing globally. We have never, not even in the darkest days of the financial crisis, central banks have never injected as much money as they have into the markets. I am not a gold bug, he says, but we do know that in times of corrections, that there is no place to hide in traditional asset classes that you can get all your Merrill Lynch brokerage. Gold and silver in the precious metals complex are the only places to hide and get true diversification in safety. And then he posts a full interview, which is a YouTube one. Danielle, yes, I said he or she. It's a she. Danielle. That's why I corrected. I thought for a second, was that lady? Not he. She. Sorry. So that's one of the main reasons I don't want to get rid of any of my silver, to get even deeper into cryptos. They're doing great. Yes, I could sell them probably today, make some profit in a month or two from now, and then get right back and buy them right back up. But there's just something that's, man, it's hard for me to do that. But that's not to say that you can't, because you could have been doing it this entire year, technically. Just look at the charts. You could have, if you didn't have silver, you could have took some profit and started your nest egg. Start a little bit, buy a little bit. B, if you already had silver, but you didn't have a whole lot of funds to get into cryptos, and you sold it all off, which is painful to say, but you sold it all off, you would have easily been able to bought it back plus extra and still be sitting on some nice profits right now. Even if your strategy was to just sit on the main coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and that's it. No ICO, no this, no that. Nope. Just sit there. So, like Cliff High says, it's not that cryptos are just going up. Cliff High said this is the hyperinflation language we've been getting out of the web bots. You're seeing it in cryptos because those aren't controlled. The one thing the Federal Reserve and the other central banks don't control, and at this point can't control, are the cryptos. And isn't it amazing that they're the one things exploding out of control? And as a matter of fact, during the same 2017 year that this person just said, Danielle, was the biggest year of money printing and buying up global assets globally by the central banks. It's also the year that cryptos took off out of control. Ethereum has been around for a while. Bitcoin's been around for years. But 2017 rolls around again. It was around that May, April, boom, or April, May. Everything shoots up just insanely. You look at all the charts of like all the main cryptos, the top 100, and you see the same little pattern. What the hell happened, right? So, by chance, if anyone does decide, I think I would like to hold on to some precious metals, and I have made some crypto profit, I'm going to give you a deal if you've never used the site before. sdbullion.com/jsnip4. And in the description box of this video, all my videos pretty much, the very bottom of the description box, there's a link to that site. sdbullion.com/jsnip4. New customers only. 10-ounce bar of silver. No premium, zero premium. It's at spot price. That should get you started if you want to do that. But man, it's hard to just even talk about precious metals these days with all the massive action in cryptos. But I always have in the back of my mind just a tiny bit of fear of, well, what happens if the cryptos end up being a bubble? They end up popping, and maybe we got out in time anyways. Didn't matter. This could be going on for years. But it popped, and I got my silver over here. Hey, I've got something that can't go to zero. It's a hard, these two things. This doesn't come out of the ground for free, okay? Costs money to pull out of the ground. So for that reason, it can't go to zero. And that's why I like having a little stash. But again, the action, the money right now is in cryptos, and that's the bottom line. Take care.